Hello, Scrappy Peeps. Suzanna here today for the What's New series, a series that I do with my friend Sarah Scraps, where we show you an unboxing on the second Tuesday of the month, and then on the fourth Tuesday, today, we create with something that people have voted to see. Or in my case, that's what I'm doing. So I went with this particular piece of pattern paper from Pinkfresh Studio from the, it's the Sunshine on My Mind collection. And so I stitched the border just as I had said I was going to. And I didn't do it on camera because the sewing machine, it's very hard to set that all up. But literally I just zigzag stitched per se. Well, I straight stitched in zigzags across the top right and the bottom left because I knew that's where I was going to use these florals from the ephemera, the floral ephemera, to create a diagonal line for my design pattern. So what I'm doing here is there's very much horizontal movement, right? Because you've got those horizontal white lines that move across the page, but you also have vertical movement because you have the vertical stripes going, the hot, it's not really a hot pink, dark pink, light pink, and then the yellow going up and down the page. But by creating the diagonal through the florals, it unites it and it sort of controls the movement of the page. So I have this picture of my husband and I, and then these florals. And what I didn't realize about these banners is that the banners have sentiments on both sides. So see, I flipped it over and I was like, oh, check that out. And I didn't really want sentiments on both sides because I've already got a lot of verbiage in here and I knew I wanted to use letters for my own title. And so I was like, oh, well, I can just use a piece of pattern paper, just a piece of cardstock to create the bottom banner for that balance. So what I like about these banners is that, especially that top one now with that more subtle phrase that I didn't know was there, is it's not as distinct a horizontal movement. It is horizontal, but it ties in so that I can work on that diagonal a little bit better. And so I have this same sort of tealy green, and it doesn't have a saying on it, and so that way I have a space for journaling was my plan. However, I just really wanted a shot of the teal, and so I am going to off camera actually use an LE Studio label, and I'm not even sold that it was in my scraps piece, not in my label, so I suspect it's a piece of scrap paper, and I made it look like a label. So I notched it and bannered it as well so that is where my journaling is going to go. I am also off camera going to use a yellow label, and that is LE Studio. Behind that Best Life acrylic at the top of the photo there. Again, it's there's something behind the Best Life with a different color that just sort of integrates all of the different colors across that diagonal line there. And framing the photo really, because I chose to put the photo at the bottom left of the page instead of in the middle of the page. I had thought that maybe I might journal on that piece of cardstock that I put to the right of the photo, but I really liked the pattern that was in there and wanted to preserve that, and I really didn't have a ton that I wanted to say because I'm journaling more about our relationship here than I am journaling about where we are, because it's just another photo really, but I liked the sun flare of the photo of us in the desert. We were at the Saguaro National Park East, I believe. So I skipped through bits of this. I am popping up these larger flowers with foam just for a little bit of dimension. I've already got a lot of texture with that stitched background, but I wanted to add dimension just to give the shadows and the layers to go with the shadows and the layers that are in the photo. I'm going to use my mini stapler here to staple the acrylic to the picture. That is the best way to get that attached. I do have a really old glue pen from Prima. It's a Prima planner pen, I think it is. They don't manufacture them anymore, but that is my favorite way of getting acrylics and vellum down on adhered down, but if I can, I will prefer to use the stapler and use my pen for those means in which I do not have to staple things. So I'm going to toy with this a fair amount. I liked it where I originally had it tucked into the flower when it had the phrases, but this is a slightly different green, tealy green, and so minty green, and it covered the bottom of the pattern paper, which I really wanted to preserve there. And so that's why I end up tucking it in here like this and trimming it down with the photo. And that's also why I felt that the label was necessary in order to integrate it better into the layout so that it was less in your face. See right there, it's kind of in your face. And I thought if I just journaled directly on it, it would soften it, but it really doesn't. So hence the label. These are some puffy hearts from Doodlebug. I wish I had bought these in other colors. I still can, and so I might have to do that too. But I love the alphabet soup letters, and then these are the puffy alphas. There's two different shades of that mint green that are there, and I'm just sprinkling them in. They are not part of the Pinkfresh Studio collection by any means, but I just like the little bits. It's kind of like paint splatter without having to put paint splatter there. And then I will fast forward through this, so I'm using the cool colors as opposed to the warm colors that are on the B side of these alphas that come with the collection, and the title of the layout is Still the One, and that explains why the journaling is what the journaling is. So that is going to wrap it up, my friends. Be sure to head over to Sarah's channel and see what she has created for you with her haul that she shared 2 weeks ago. Enjoy the close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well. Come back again soon. Take care.